Recording. Okay. So, hello everyone. Again, my name is Muhammad Jabir. I am the chairman of the International Students Alumni Board at the University of Miskolc. I am a PhD student at the Faculty of Economics, and this initiative comes to introduce the prospective students and interested young people from around the world to introduce them about the University of Miskolc and the programs, faculties, and students' life in the city. So today is our fourth session. No, actually, it's the fifth. So today we will talk about the Faculty of Arts, and yeah, many happy faces, which make me really excited. I will start introducing you all. So I have Dr. Kinga. She's the director and associate professor at the University of Miskolc Faculty of Arts, and she's also the vice dean for international affairs. Together, we will have Dr. Mikolosh. Forgive me if my pronunciation of the name.
Almost perfect. Almost.
Okay. He is an associate professor, Institute of Anthropological and Philosophical Studies, University of Miskolc. Dr. Gergely Kund. He is an assistant professor at the faculty.
Unfortunately, Dr. Kunt is not with us yet.
Okay, but
hopefully
he will later.
Hopefully he can join you later, yeah.
Okay. Dr. Virag Havashi, she's also an associate professor. Dr. Colin, a visiting professor from North Wales, as I knew a few minutes ago. Together we have also another lovely professor, Joja Turuk. And of course, Rem, she is the ambassador of the Faculty of Arts. She is the new elected ambassador, by the way. And last, I forgot Aya. Aya, she's my colleague at the International Students Alumni Board, the coordinator for the Faculty of Arts. So, Dr. Kinga, the mic is yours. You can share your screen and start.
I don't have a presentation. It's just an oral talk because it's Aya who we are going to share the presentation with you, as far as I know, a PPT. Yeah. So thank you for organizing this event. I'm very happy to see the face of the students and the professor. I'm the director of Applied Social Studies Institute at the Faculty of Arts, and normally we are the organizer for the Central European Studies Master Program. But of course, we have another kind of master program in English, which is cultural anthropology. And I hope Zsuzsanna can share some idea about cultural anthropology master program, which is going to start in the next academic year. We don't have students so far on that program. So basically, we have some students and some experience with the Central European Study MA program. And we have lots of different kind of nice students from, I would say, all over the world, but they are inside of the EU. They are coming from, I don't know, diverse background, like from Morocco, from Turkey, from even from South African Republic, and so on. So we have, so far we have some students from China as well, and from Bangladesh in this year. So it's a kind of really international background, and we have to face, as a professor, with the diversity of the cultures in here. And I think we also learn a lot from handling the diversity of different kind of culture, what are the norms of them, what are their cultural symbols, and so on. So we, in the group of international students, we are also sharing this kind of information all together. I would say that for the prospective students on Central European Studies, if you would like to get to know closer, to come closer to what we call Central European spirit or soul, you should come to this master because this master covers really a diverse topics from humanities till philosophy or history of Central European countries, also some literature background, and also, of course, what is my subject with Virág Havasi is social studies, and with Joja Török, anthropology, because Virág and me are sociologists, and we used to have classes with some kind of sociological theory and practice in this Central European Master Program. I'm teaching 2 courses, in fact, on this master. One is my favorite, in fact, which is dealing with social research methodology. So with this really diverse background of the students, they could come from humanities, they could come from I don't know, social studies. We have lots of diverse experience, but it can be combined during social research design classes, and I really enjoy it. I hope students also enjoying these classes. And other course, I'm a tutor for another course, which is the Roma Society of Central Europe. And because I really like to work with Roma groups, and I was dealing as a researcher with Roma minorities in Central Europe, I also like to share this kind of experiences with the group of international students who have other kind of experiences, being like a minority, maybe in their country, or now as a students they are in a University of Miskolc. So we are welcome all of the students with human arts, with the background of human kind of BA, or maybe some social studies BA. So mostly welcome all of the students who are interested in this kind of Central European feeling, history, literature, and social studies as well. Thanks for listening me.
Thank you, Doctor, for this introduction. I am wondering now if I will be able to join the master program after finishing my PhD. It will be very nice.
Yeah, we can talk about this later on.
Yeah, to be honest, my background is pure scientific. Now I'm doing my economics, but maybe after that I will go a little bit further to sociology. It will be a lovely cocktail. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it can be a good combination. Yeah.
Thank you. So I think now Aya will share her screen
Yeah.
and present to us.
Yeah, I will.
Thanks. Yeah, now it's sharing.
Okay. Okay. My laptop is really slow, so okay. Can you see it?
Yes,
Yes.
clear.
Okay, so as you all know, like as Mrs. Kinga also introduced us to the Faculty of Arts. The Faculty of Arts is of the University of Miskolc with 2 master's program in English, provide the generations of the 21st century with state-of-the-art, easily utilizable knowledge. In the ever-widening range of courses, you can find everything belonging to the field of humanities and social sciences in the classic sense, but also the indispensable asset of our present, accelerated lifestyle, practice-oriented, and applicable knowledge. Okay. As Ms. Kinga mentioned before, we have 2 parts of 2 MA programs. The first one is Central European Studies. The program aims to train experts who, with the help of their acquired self-specific knowledge, are able to carry out tasks related to foreign affairs, economics, research, representations, intercultural relations, and diplomacy of culture, and organization and relation to the Central European region. The graduate shall be able to carry out such tasks in scientific, media-related, diplomatic, institutional, and cultural settings. We also have the cultural anthropology. Cultural anthropology is a master's degree program with courses on history and theory of anthropology, qualitative research methods, and sub-disciplines of contemporary sociocultural anthropology. especially the different aspects of applied and virtual anthropology. The courses offer deep understanding of broad knowledge on the structure of Hungarian and Central European societies, regional and local social and cultural conflicts, and analysis of the effects of globalization and on the evolution and working of local sociocultural changing. Hopefully, um, Professor Joja can tell us more about this MA program later. The faculty members, the Dean, Dr. Maria Ilis Kovac, Associate Professor, and we already met Vice Dean Dr. Kinga Sabutooth. Main institution in the faculty, first we have the Institute for Hungarian Language and Literature, where you can learn the Hungarian language, which is a course, and literature, if you are interested. Also, we have the Institute for Philosophy, Cultural and Visual Anthropology, Institute for Applied Social Sciences, Institute for Modern Philology, Institute for History. We also have important links in case you want to know more about this faculty, more about the courses, the timetables. The first link is the homepage of the Central European Studies, where you can find more like the teaching staff, the timetables, the courses, some also important links. The second one is for the institutional page of Stipendium Hungarian Scholarship. The third one is the English page of the Institute for Applied Social Sciences. The last link is a web page for the pre-arrival informations that can help you before, like how to prepare your visa, who should you contact, and stuff like that. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Aya, for these information. Maybe you can share these links in the chat part after a few minutes or so. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think sharing.
Yeah, I think now I would move to Erin. I'm sure Erin has a lot to tell us also.
Thank you very much, Jaber. And I would like to say good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on the viewer's location for the ladies and gentlemen. As you mentioned before, my name is İrem Üstüntay, and I am a second-year master's student in the Central European Studies program. Since September 2020, I have been titled as the International Student Ambassador of the Faculty of Arts. And since then, I have been proudly representing the faculty in the national and international events and the platforms. Today, I am truly honored to be invited for this informative Zoom sessions, which organized by the Students Initiative of the University of Miskolc, which this part is the mostly proud for me. I see how we develop our community next to the Hungarian students community. Now we have a visibility in the frame of the university and in the national and international platforms. And I would like to thank you, Mohammed Jaber and Aya, for their works.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Today I thought about it, what to share with you, and it will be a short, briefly information about my 1.5 years of experience as an international student at the University of Miskolc and the Faculty of Arts. If I can say a couple of words about the campus life, accommodation, and the city life, it's like it will be very happy environment for the prospective students, because we have a lovely campus. It's full with green and vibrant. It's how to describe, like, commune with nature. You can, any moment while you are walking in the campus, you can see a squirrel is running from one place to another. So it's highly attractive for all of us. And so I see, like, most of the students have an discouragement about the location of the our city, Miskolc, but I would assure them it gives you a great European experience because we live here within the community. We are not excluded or we don't have our own base. We live with the Hungarians, like Hungarians. We try to adopt the life here. And about the educational experience of mine, here, as far as I see until now, I have 3 semesters of experience in the Central European Studies, which I can say subjects are very well structured. It's the aims of the academic staff and the curriculum is focused on the giving a broader view on sociology, culture, philosophy, history, politics, economics about the Central European countries. That's why I find this very useful in order to embrace the real Central European culture. Why it named Central European, or why we had to divide this? What is different than a European culture? This is what I start to discover. I can say still I start because it's really deep and how to say, it takes a lot of time to embrace this knowledge and understand it. So I can say the variety of the backgrounds of the academic staff of the faculty, it allows me and encourages me in multidisciplinary approaches as well. Like here on the board, we have Hava Shivirak, which she has a really impressive background on the different field studies on the different fields. We have Sabo Kingatooth here, which I don't know when she rests. I don't know when she sleeps, when I see her, all her accomplishments. And Colin Stivatric is one of our guest lecturers, but I know that he puts a lot of effort for us and he really cares about his students. And here in Miskolc, he never neglects us. And Joja Turk, she's always for us. She's ready to help and accomplish for anything. So my professor and I, like as students of this study program, I feel like we are bonding in a very different sense, in the academic sense, in the integration sense, I can say, because what Dr. Kinga did for us is really highly accomplished. I'm really grateful for her works. When we felt really alone last year, she gathered us and make a Christmas celebration next to our discussion about the Christmas and the Christmas soul in Hungary, which we still work, but in the same time, we know how to have fun as well. So as you can see from my experience in Miskolc, in the University of Miskolc, and in the Faculty of Arts, it's a blessing to be here. I really get a unique experience from my professor, from my personal experience, and so on and so forth. And I know it's a challenging environment to get out from, for the students to get out from their comfort zone, but I highly encourage them to do this. Once you took the first step, it will continue. I highly encourage for every one of the prospective students who considers to apply for Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship program to choose University of Miskolc and especially choose the Faculty of Arts, either in Central European Studies or the Cultural Anthropology. I know that they will not regret this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Erin, for this introduction. You know, you reminded me when we were writing the announcement for these Zoom sessions, and it came to my mind while we were discussing, you know, this text, how to advertise the sessions and the university. It came to my mind, you know, all these lovely sites and areas around the city, like Lillefred, the Book Mountains, Miskolc Sabolca, and all these lovely neighborhoods. So I remember I wrote like, have a look at the gem of the northern region of Hungary, city of Miskolc. Yes, it's maybe the fourth largest city in the country, not the largest or the second largest or so, but it is quiet, warm-hearted, and I think I'm one of the few lucky people who live in such marvelous mountainous city. So yeah, I agree with everything. So it's very nice to have such atmosphere. And while speaking about this, I would give the floor to Dr. Mikulush to give us an introduction. Yes,
Thank you and welcome everybody. I'm very happy for this occasion. I think it's a great initiative. I'm a professor of philosophy and I have a 2-semester course on Central European philosophy. Now I understand that since students come from such different backgrounds, the first thing to introduce to them is the notion of philosophy itself. So we learn some ideas from modern philosophers like Descartes or Kant and persons like that. But just in order to contrast to them Central European philosophy, because there is one really interesting thing about Central European philosophy, it is the root of the two main trends of world philosophy in the 20th century. So Central Europe in that regard is really a fantastic thing. We also learn about the historical social background of Central European philosophy, to which these philosophies respond, basically. And at the end, if we have still time, there is a phenomenologist, a Czech one, called Jan Patočka, who has great views on the spirit of Europe as such. So we learn some ideas about what Europe is, historically and contemporary Europe, what the spirit of Europe. So I think this topic must connect closely to Mr. Collins' classes, I guess. So probably that much is enough about philosophy right now.
Thank you very much for this short introduction. And now, Dr. Colin.
Greetings, greetings. Well, now, yes, I'm an Englishman, but I'm speaking from Wales, one of the other nations of the United Kingdom, currently united, but we can't depend on its remaining united, I'm afraid. The Scots are rather keen to break away, and after elections that are due there this next spring, if the Scottish National Party triumphs, as they rather expect to do, then Miss Sturgeon, the First Minister, plans a referendum as soon as possible. And I may say that even in Wales, even in little Wales, with a population of 3.5 million or something, there is a growing feeling that we might actually be better off independent than not. Anyway, Central Europe, fascinating place. I wouldn't have been coming for 20 years and more if it wasn't. And I also go to Poland and have been going to Romania as well. I hadn't much acquaintance with the Czech Republic, I have to say, but Hungary is my base, and I hope it will continue to be my base even after COVID-19 is history. There has been a bit of a hiatus, of course, in the last year. I haven't been able to come, but I have been keeping in touch. And as Irem said, and Aya, I'm not letting them go, actually. I'm still talking to them on Skype, group Skype, though the course has officially finished. But we're continuing to meet, and I hope we shall, as long as they want to. What do I do? Well, as Miklos was saying, I take up perhaps from where he's left off, or possibly I give an introduction to him in the sense that I'm looking at the values of Europe and of Central Europe in particular. So I begin by, yes, looking at what we mean by Europe. There are several variants of what Europe might mean to different people, and indeed Central Europe. Which countries are included in Central Europe? Where does the word value come from? What do we mean by values? What's the source of values for a country like Hungary? And I look at religious values, that is to say, values that spring from the religious inclination in Hungary in particular, and therefore the Catholic Church in particular. I look at what might be the threats to European values as represented in the Visegrad 4 countries, Poland, Czechia, Slovakia, and Hungary. How are the values that we espouse in Brussels-based Europe, how are they different from the values that are being espoused increasingly in Budapest-based Europe? There is a certain tension between conservatism and liberalism. What do I mean by these? But Hungary is always the case study. It's always the Hungary that I come back to act as a set of examples of what is happening. It's a very dynamic part of the world. I often wonder, these Bangladeshi students, Turkish students, Syrian students, what do they make of Central Europe? Why do they choose to study Central Europe? Well, it's a microcosm, it's a crucible, and I think some very interesting things are happening there. Worrying things, I may say, in some ways, in a lot of ways. And of course, at present, there is a tension between West and East in respect of the next 7-year budget and whether the rule of law is being respected, in particular in Hungary and Poland. But I've said enough on that, under that head. These are the kinds of things I'm fascinated by anyway. What's happening? What are the emerging trends in these countries? I look for as many sources as I can on the mostly website sources, of course. And I have to spot what are the biases and which are the websites that are being promoted by the government and which aren't. Enough. Right. I'm fascinated and I hope to pass on some of that fascination. Over to you.
Thank you very much for this speech and lovely information. Yeah, I think the students who are enrolled in such a program are really how to say, they are lucky actually to deal with this.
We are.
Blend of ideas and such mindsets. Yeah, and now I will move to Virag Havashi. Doctor, if you want, the floor is yours.
Thank you
My
very
phone,
much.
that is.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say that I'm honored that I'm participating in this session and also for teaching in the Central European Studies. And I should advise Irem to follow on with her studies in public relations and marketing after finishing our course. And thank you for your words, of course. As it was mentioned, I teach economic history of Central European countries, but as I am not a historian, but an economist and sociologist, I try to put emphasis partly on the post-war period and especially on the last 3 decades of the Central European countries. I think it is more interesting and useful in this way for the students who are visiting our course. And also I participate in supervising final theses, and in this respect, I don't deal only with economic topics, but for example, I had a student who wrote on the topic of education and refugees, and another, for example, Kazakh-Hungarian relationships. So it can be quite diverse. Now I will work with Aya, as far as I know, in this academic year. And I can tell you that I really love to teach in this international and flourishing environment. Kinga didn't mention then that usually we have Spanish-speaking American students as well, which is also a refreshment for me and gives the opportunity to practice my Spanish a little bit. And again, it gives us more insights in different feelings and attitudes and worldviews. And I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this info about the specialization and availability of the information about these topics. I think our last speaker will be Joja Turok. Sorry for Joja Turok, not Joja.
It's okay, I don't mind being called Joja as well. It's fine.
I know it's something, yeah.
That's okay. Don't worry about that. Okay, so first of all, thank you for inviting me for this session. I'm really glad that I could be here. And well, let's start with Central European Studies. I do think that it's a very, very good program. So anyone who wishes to join it, please do so, because it's very diverse. It's very interesting. The topics covered are extremely important in our societies nowadays. So I do think that this program is for everyone and anyone who is interested in Central Europe or who wants to deepen his or her understanding on recent topics, contemporary society, or any issues that that are in relation with Central Europe or Europe in itself. The other thing which came a bit unexpected for me, that I should probably talk about cultural anthropology master program, which is going to be offered in English from the next semester. I myself am a cultural anthropologist, teaching at the Department of Anthropology for almost 20 years now. And this MA program, this master program, is offered for years now in Hungarian, and from the next semester, it's going to be offered also in English.
Actually, next year, next academic year.
Well, yeah, thank you for correcting my mistake. So the program itself is based on two pillars. One is theory and the other is applied science, applied anthropology. A very important part of this program is visual anthropology, which is ethnographic filmmaking, basically. So we teach a high amount of anthropological theory, but the focus is on how to apply anthropological knowledge, how to apply anthropological fieldwork in different settings, and how to make ethnographic documentaries. Ethnographic documentary is a very interesting gene within film studies. It's not a sociological documentary, not a documentary, but puts the special focus and special approach of cultural anthropology into film, into moving images. So anyone who wishes to know more about ethnographic filmmaking or about the program, I advise you to visit the website of the department and feel free to ask any questions. We will be there to answer it. So basically, thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the information, and hopefully the launch of this program will be very successful within the next academic year. So now I have some questions. Maybe Dr. Kinga can help me with that. So basically, most of the time, students ask about the requirements for the application for the Central European Studies. What are the criteria for the assessment of the applicants, and what are the required criteria to choose those who will be accepted in the program? If you can tell us.
First of all, I would advise them to have a look at our website or the university website of the international programs, or if they would like to apply with the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship, they should go for it, because we have a website on that from the university website. You can have a connection to the Stipendium Hungaricum website, and you can find our English language master program in there, and the application, the process of application. And there are some useful email address. For instance, the email address of International Office of the University of Miskolc If I'm just telling your name, you probably won't understand the word because it's Csirini Gergely Katalin, who is dealing with the application process, and she can help. If you would like to have a coordinator at the university, she can help in the administrative process. Basically, you need to have a good command of English. If you can prove it with an English language, I don't know, diploma, for instance, a BA in English language, literature and grammar, it's fine. Or if you have another kind of improvement, a certificate in English language, it's also fine. And also, you need to have a BA degree, as I was telling you, in any kind of human sciences, in fact, so humanities, basically, or a sort of diploma in social sciences. You can even come from an economic background. It's fine. It's still fine. Or sociology or anthropology and so on. So all is welcome, in fact. And we are a little bit thinking of having some or introduce some basic courses, because Miklós just mentioned you that some of the students, or mostly the students, have different kind of background, different kind of level of knowledge in a certain kind of area like philosophy or literature and grammar and so on. So we are just thinking of a little bit integrate to the program some introductory courses on that field as well. So we would like to have students who would for taking an example, coming from a different kind of background like English literature and grammar at a BA, they could also join to us, because they will have some kind of introductory courses in philosophy and history and so on, in order to understand Central European idea a little bit better. So we are just thinking of a little bit enriching the program with these kind of elements as well.
Thank you very much for the answer. And so the criteria would be that they should have a good knowledge in English language. They should provide a certificate, maybe an English diploma, or at least an English examination test results.
And I didn't mention, but all of the program requires an oral examination. So an entrance examination, which is mostly on Zoom or Skype or other kind of entrance exam. And on this entrance exam, which is a free talk, in fact, we just would like to wonder about the motivation of the student, and we can, she or he can prove her or his English language proficiency on that talk, on that speech.
Yes, sure. Yeah, another question. Sometimes they ask about the Hungarian language. I know it is not an easy language compared to English. It's hard. So what are the opportunities to learn the language and the requirements? Will there be any requirements for students to learn the language during their staying here? And information about this, please.
I don't know what's the experiences of Irem and Aya about this one, but basically on the Central European Master Program, you have to learn one Central European language. It can be anything regarding Central European language, but so this is an optional course. But you also, if you are coming with Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship, this is from this semester, this year of the study, that you have to learn Hungarian, at least I think 1 or 2 semesters, I'm not sure about that. But if you are coming with Stipendium Hungaricum, maybe Aya knows it better than me, you have to learn Hungarian language at least for 1 semester. So it's compulsory. In fact, it's not an optional one. So I don't know if Hungarian is a complicated language or not, because this is my native tongue. So I mean, for me, every kind of language is really, believe me, a complicated one, except of Hungarian. But I do believe that, because I know it from others talk, that it's a hard thing. But yeah, probably you know some words, Aya and Irem, and some grammars and so on. Grammar can be complicated, but it's worth learning Hungarian.
Yes, yes. Actually, mentioning the language requirements for the Stipendium Hungaricum program, students are in the master level, they are required to learn in their first year, actually, 2 semesters.
Yeah.
And they have to...
2 semesters.
Yeah, they have to pass the subjects to continue with the scholarship. I think this is the new requirements starting from this year, actually. So yeah, they should learn Hungarian. And for me, actually, yeah, I encourage the fact that we need to learn Hungarian language. It will be very nice and very good to go back home after 2 years or so with a new how to say, with a new dictionary, let's say, trying to teach our sons and daughters in the future some words. Yeah. So I believe that's all the question that I got. And as I see that there is no questions in the Q&A section. I think we reached the end of this Zoom session. I would like to thank you all for joining us today, for sharing all these lovely information with the prospective students. This session was recorded and will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. And also it is now streaming on our Facebook page and will be also posted there later. So have a nice, I think, evening. Yeah, it's already the sunset. So yeah, and happy weekend.
British tea time. British tea time.
British tea time. Okay. Yes. So enjoy the weekend and hopefully all will be healthy and well and sound. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.